This is Lisa Hayden with Community Focus on Washington County, Central Kentucky TV, Channel 6. Today, our guest is Brenda Harris from Dublin, Ireland. Welcome, Brenda.
Well, thank you, Lisa. Thank you very much.
We're excited to have you here today because you are an artist and have come all the way from Ireland to bring some of your beautiful artwork, which is behind us.
Well, I am absolutely delighted to be here. And I've had nothing but warm welcome since I came about 3 weeks ago. And I credit my visit to Betty Brookfield and Susan Simpson. We're friends since 2009. When I was living in France, I actually met the girls there. And only last year I met up again with them. We hatched this plan. So I have 2 exhibitions, one in St. Catherine College here in Springfield in the library, and another at the Gallery on the Square in Bardstown. And both exhibitions are different. One has St. Catherine's has all these oils behind me, rather larger pieces. And at the Gallery on the Square, they're smaller and the subject matter is more interiors. And there are some beautiful limited edition prints as well.
Wow. Well, I have to say, behind me, Brenda, these are absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
And so do you have, so people can go over to Bardstown to the gallery on the square, and see those. And
7 days a week it's open, and there's a special area where my work is just there, and there would be in a total of about 30 pieces. So that's quite a lot to choose from. And you know, the limited edition prints have just been published, so they're going to get the first few limited editions, and they all start at about 150, and there's 9 of them to choose from. But the oils, they're mixed with interiors like afternoon tea and lovely chairs in light. And then there's a few sprinkling of lovely little garden scenes, very flimsy and whimsical. So
sounds beautiful. I'm sorry I missed the open house. That was Friday night, I think, this past Friday.
It was a great night.
Yeah. So I hope there was good turnout. And so you do, besides oil, you do watercolors.
I do, yeah.
And
it's called watercolor and ink. And it's a technique I use. I use a really black ink, and before it dries, I ease in the watercolor, and sometimes they merge and sometimes they don't. So it gives it a really natural, sort of like as if I did it quickly, but believe me, they don't just happen that easily.
Oh, but I know all the work that goes into one of those paintings, you know, because of Susan and Betty, both of them being artists. And we're always happy to have, Betty always donates something to us for the wine tasting, our BPW wine tasting, so which is coming up. And but now so you all met while you were both, while all 3 of you were in France painting.
Yeah. I mean, that's just amazing, you know, you just click with people like that, and we just hung out for ages, and the 2 of them painting sunflowers in Collioure, which is in the south of France, south of Perpignan, if anybody knows the area. And it's just a fabulous place because it has this kind of rose-tinted look to it, and it's right beside the blue sea and sky and vineyards in the background. And I was there, living there for about 2 years, and I was renovating. I'm an interior designer as well as an artist, and I was painting. And then I returned back to beautiful Ireland, Ardmore, down in the south, on a lovely rugged coast, and where I actually swim every day right through the year. So anybody think of freezing water, but it does you good. It really does It's fabulous.
Well, I'm lucky that I've been to Dublin, so I think I know some of the area that you're referring to.
Yeah.
And do you have any paintings here that
Of
of Dublin, of the
No,
or the
I
area
don't.
of
That
the?
would have been a series before. I chose to bring more garden scenes, and I have landscapes as well with me in Springfield. And again, the interiors. So it's kind of you go through periods of doing certain scenes.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm depicting at the moment. So.
And so these are probably landscapes that you did when you were in France then?
These are actually of Ireland.
Really?
Yes. But I'll tell you what France did for me. It actually gave me a stronger palette. You know, I would have been a more traditional palette, but France has opened my eyes to the colour and the intensity and the influence of artists that you see there yourself. So this particular one here is of a famous garden in the south of Ireland in Cork called Ballymaloe. And the people that own this beautiful estate have done fabulous work renovating these gardens, and I have access to them. And this picture behind you, Lisa, is like a zoomed up picture or portrait of deep into a herbaceous border of my favourite flowers, the alliums, and a few little lupins there sticking up at the back. And behind me would be the coast of Ireland down the south where I live, and the wind sometimes can really knock the trees over. So you have these trees with a little loop on one side, but it's fabulous. It really is. It's called the Gold Coast.
Well, they're just beautiful. Have you been painting did you take lessons or?
No, I'm self-taught, but I come from a family of painters and fashion designers, which I was myself too. So I've been immersed in art since birth, you know. So my father was he was a businessman, but he was a wonderful photographer as well. And my brother practices his art in Dublin, and we travelled a lot when I was younger, and so I got exposed to lots of lovely places. And anyway, after I was in business for 14 years, I just took it up as a leisure, you know, even though I'd painted it in the youth, but in between I had family and I had a business, so it wasn't until I sold that business and painted for myself that my framer then decided he'd give me an exhibition, and I haven't looked back.
Wow.
And
so now you get the opportunity to do it full time?
I do, yes. I have done for over 20 years now.
So you were in the interior design business or the
I was
fashion
in the
design?
fashion business, and when I started painting, the interior design business evolved from my painting, because just people would come to my home and realize I could design places, and it started off actually with businesses asking me because they were buying my paintings, you know, corporates, and then eventually I was doing apartments, and my latest one was a restaurant and a nightclub, you know, so yeah.
Paintings to put in the nightclub?
Oh, but I would have had them, yes, but they also asked me to design the restaurant.
To design the restaurant too?
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty neat, Brenda.
I know, it keeps
you
the
get
coffer
to
full.
I know how it is for those starving artists. You know, Betty had a restaurant in Springfield at one time called The Starving Artist.
I know.
And we love her artwork, and I mean,
so do I.
But you know, you can't always afford to buy all that beautiful artwork, unfortunately.
But there are people out there that do, and thankfully they do. And you should see the three of us in the last 3 weeks. We're painting together in her beautiful house that's like being in France. And we're just three little mad ones there painting away, and it's just great. Because as an artist, you don't always get a chance to paint with other artists. It's quite an isolating craft, and so I am in absolute heaven Yeah. With them, you know.
Oh, yeah, because there's some beautiful gardens there at Betty's.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. It is. It's great.
And did you all stay together when you were in France? Cause
no. I had my own apartment, you see, and they had rented a lovely place across the way.
Okay.
And we just met up all the time. And they had a little, after they were finished their little holiday, they had all these paintings, and they had a thing, like an opening, but it's called a vernissage. And they invited anybody we had met, and they had a little opening and drinkies and little bits, pieces, and their paintings outside. It was absolutely fabulous.
Yeah.
You know, I have great memories from it. And again, this last year in June, I flew from Ireland to meet them. So we hatched the plan to come here, and it's been great.
Well, I'm so glad that that you've been able to be here. Is this your first trip to the
first trip to Kentucky.
To Kentucky.
Yeah.
But you've been to the States before?
Well, I've flown in and out, yes, over the years, and mostly to the Caribbean, I have to say, but I'm really making plans to come back now. And I just have to say that both exhibitions are on for another couple of weeks. And, you know, you have access pretty good hours. I think, you know, from 8 till 10 in St. Catherine's. And I'm not quite sure. I should know this, but
in Bardstown.
Would it be between... I'm 9 or 10 and 6. I know 6 anyway. Yeah. I'm sorry I don't know that, but I'm sure it's easy to.
Well, yeah. You know. If anyone, they can call the
gallery on the
gallery on the square. The gallery on the square, and find out the hours to view the exhibit, and then at St. Catherine, of course, at the Hunley Library. That you know, it's open. Like you said, most of the time. I mean, most of the time.
Except Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah, it's closed Saturday.
Okay. So I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, I didn't know that till I tried to get access the other day. Yeah. You know, so you know, I've really enjoyed my stay here, Lisa, and I'm really grateful for this opportunity to show my work, and with your help as well.
Well, I have to ask about these.
Oh, these are my cards.
Well, aren't they pretty? Can you design cards for other people?
Yes. Look at those.
Those are gorgeous.
They're my interior watercolor and ink.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And some landscapes here. But they
are beautiful.
They are. You just pick what you would like there as visuals.
Now, have you, being in Kentucky, central Kentucky, have you felt like it was a lot like Ireland?
Oh, I tell you, the green makes me feel like I'm home. But the difference is Kentucky's like a garden. It's just it's so beautiful, and you don't have boundaries like we do. So you have this openness that Little Ireland has, you know, little fields. It's known for its patchwork, but you don't. It just keeps, you know, undulating. It's just amazing. I love it. And the blossom, and the flowers. Even in the 3 weeks I've been here, there's just flowers everywhere. And we've got so many things planned, and we're going to the Oaks. So we're dressing up like nothing you've ever seen before, and we're gonna
wear your hat.
Oh yes, I have a gorgeous hat with all the lilies and the flowers, and we're doing the wine tour next week before I go, and the Bourbon Trail, and we're going to Lexington tomorrow to Irish Acres, and what else are we doing now? We've done so much actually. Yeah. We've been to some distilleries and tasted the bourbon, and I really like bourbon. I've had a few. You've actually bought me one or two.
Yeah, it's not the Irish whiskey. We're going to stick to Kentucky bourbon right now. And I really, although I like Irish whiskey too.
I know, but I have to say they're giving me stick at home because I'm posting bourbon bottles on Instagram and Facebook, and they're giving me stick. for dropping the Irish for a while. But, you know, I'm here.
Yeah,
Enjoy it.
That's right.
I wouldn't get that chance at home. There's only a couple of bourbons we'd have access to, you know.
Yeah.
So that's a really big experience.
When in Rome,
yes,
do as the Romans
exactly.
do. And I wanted to, you know, will you leave any of your artwork here?
Yes.
So once you leave, there'll still be some like at the gallery on the square in Bardstown, so people can.
Yeah, well, it only opened at the weekend, both of them, one on Friday and one on Sunday after the Mid-Kentucky Chorus, which, by the way, was amazing. And so there'll be another 3 or 4 weeks before the remaining paintings will be created and sent home. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, our distilleries anymore are places of art.
They are, aren't they?
I mean, they really are. And you know, Maker's Mark, which is close to us, has that beautiful ceiling. I don't know if you,
yes, I did.
Which is done by an artist, and I should know, but that. But you know, they might be interested in some of your work as well, Brenda.
Lisa, that would be amazing. Can you organize that for me?
Yeah, I think you just need to take one with you when you go on your bourbon trail. And
well, you're just going to have to tell me who to look for. That would be amazing to leave it in some, you know, in the hands of people like themselves. Yeah, it really would.
And I have to ask you, because these two almost appear abstract, you know.
It's kind of paring it down, you know, paring down the details and putting in the color that you feel yourself. And it is a personal thing, that. You know.
I didn't know if there was a name for it, or
half impressionist and half abstract, because abstract sometimes people can sound really harsh and edgy, but mine is soft. So it's like deconstructing.
It really is. It's just
that wouldn't be, but this would be. You're right, and the one behind. Because the landscape may have a nice little hill with the trees, and then below is just colour. And there's no lead. Well, there is a lead in, but it's different. Yeah. That's one of 2 paintings, actually, that when they go side by side, they look like the one painting, even though there's a big gap between them. So they're called a diptych. So they can be bought together or bought singly. So, you know, they just look like a wave of the one landscape. It's quite interesting.
That would be nice to have on a wall, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You would feel like you're in the garden all the time.
I have 2 like that now in St. Catherine's, and I have another 2 in the gallery on the square, where there's 3 beautiful gardenscapes, and they look like you'd be wandering through a little laneway. And another one that's quite similar to this, so they're split, 2 square paintings, and they look like the one garden, even though there's a big gap between them. So I just love them anyway.
Oh,
I actually sent them over wet, and when they got here, they were dry. It was, you know, that's the enthusiasm you have to have about painting. It's great. Yeah.
Well, and I think it's just great that now you have the opportunity to do it, you know, all the time. You know, when you have a passion for something, and you get that opportunity to.
But Lisa, I hope that I can paint to the end of my days, just like Matisse and Monet. And Monet was up a ladder at 80, whatever, and that's what I envisage myself doing. I really love it. It's a great passion, and I'm glad it supports me, and I'm able to exhibit and paint and sell, and it does support me. And now I've actually exhibited in London and Paris as well, and now I'm in Kentucky.
I think it's marvelous.
I think it's brilliant. I really do. Yeah.
And so you told me, I think earlier, that you do portraits sometimes.
Oh, I do. And it's not just sometimes, it's just a new passion of mine. I actually teach privately, and my students have been at me to show them how I can do the figurative. So it's a new series I'm doing at the moment, and that will be in oil. And in the watercolor series, I'm going to do fashion drawings, because I'm also publishing a book based on 300 sketches my mother left. She died a year and a half ago, bless her, and she was a fabulous artist. And so I'm going to publish this book alongside my own work. And it's just a new project. That's for, it'll probably be issued in 2017. So it's very exciting.
And the book is going to be full, your book is going to be full of
mine and my mother's. So it's a story about what leads from my mother. She started as a young woman in 1945, and she went on to be a well-known fashion designer. And I really I sketched because my business was also fashion, but I never took it seriously as art. And now I'd like to do my idea of fashion today alongside hers. So
I think that's a great idea.
I think it's brilliant. And honestly, it wasn't until she died that I really thought of doing it. And I can actually remember talking to Susan and Betty about it in France last year, and another friend of mine who has a home there as well, and the four of us were talking about it. And I had thought, you know, how these things don't just happen like that, but I had thought I would have had something with me, but it's going to take another year.
And so it's going to be all on fashion design.
It is, and figurative, you know, the body and the faces of women, and you know,
and clothes.
With or without, it's whatever you like. Yeah, no, I've done a series of women nude paintings when I was in France. You know, they're very discreet now. They're very tasteful. So I'm going to do it again. Yeah.
So I thought with your students, you said that they were learning, some of them, some fashion design. Is that because, no?
No,
okay.
They're pressurizing me for me to teach them to do the figurative.
Okay.
And some of them are only 2 or 3 years, and some of them are 10 years painting, but now they're branching out into figurative, which is a difficult subject.
Oh,
they're doing so well, and I'm just loving it, you know. It's a lovely challenge to be able to teach people what you know, but it also brings your own art on, you know, so I find that very interesting.
So for example, would you have a nude subject come in to paint? Is that?
Well, I haven't put them through that yet. Because it'd be such giggles, you know. But I'm actually planning a workshop in November where I'm introducing a model to them, because they need that time to actually practice a lot of drawing and paint more than drawing, because they're pretty good at the drawing. So in November they'll all have to sign up to one of my workshops. So I'll take them out of the classroom, the term classes, and they'll just do a weekend workshop. So they'll have to take it seriously if they really want to do it, you know. But
well, all our famous artists always did it.
The nude.
The nude.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, that's part of your training, isn't it?
I know it is. And keep an eye on my my new website, brendaharris.ie, and you'll see them coming online shortly, you know. So
oh, that's good to know. So people can get online.
Yes.
And look up Brenda
Harris, BrendaHarris.ie. So that's the Irish IE.
Okay.
So
good.
Yeah.
And then they can see some of your work.
Oh wow! Yes, it's a lovely new site. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it's just one of these new scrollers. You know, it's nice. I like it anyway.
Well, great. So, well, I just want to tell you how happy I am that you could make it today, because I know we've been trying to get together, and because I want everyone to be sure and get down to St. Catherine if they're in Springfield, Washington County, at the St. Catherine at the Hunley Library upstairs, and or they can come to both. In Bardstown at the gallery on the square, and which is, if anyone's familiar, if you're familiar with Bardstown and Nelson County, it is on the square up by the old courthouse in the middle of town.
It's that lovely big building.
Yeah.
I believe it was a library and a post office
It wa-
before, and I can hear a lot of people go chink chink, you know. Oh yes, I know that one. And
Yeah.
it's only 10 or 15 minutes from Springfield.
Yeah.
I think
yeah.
it is.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's
20
nothing.
minutes really
Yeah, oh, is
to
it?
downtown,
Right,
and
yeah.
it's nothing.
Yeah.
But your work is very beautiful, and
Thank
I'm
you,
just
Lisa.
glad
Thank you.
that we've had the opportunity to interview you and to see some of your work right here on Channel 6, Central Kentucky TV, and also now. And you'll be, so that'll continue to be on display for a while.
Yes, and Susan and Betty are
And Su-
looking after it, and
Right.
I head home on Wednesday next
Okay.
because I'm just a new grandmother of
Con-
3 weeks. Yes, I'm dying to see my little Lilybell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
Lily Bell,
yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. So I'm quite excited about that too. You
Oh,
know.
of course.
So you know the tug from being here and enjoying yourself, but I do FaceTime with her.
Yeah.
So.
That's good. Yeah.
And she literally
That's
looks at the camera, by the way. Little thing, little teeny baby, and she's looking up and listening to my voice. Anyway.
She'll know it when you get there. Then, yeah, she'll know who
hope
you
so.
are. Yeah. So, but well, I hope you continue to enjoy what visit you have left while you're here.
Yeah, yeah.
And get to see some of the sights. And I'm glad you like Kentucky. And I
I
want to
do.
thank you for being here. And I hope you come back again.
Thank you for having me
Yeah.
here. I've had a wonderful time. Thank you,
Good.
everybody.